Pawn Star deals that almost bankrupted the pawn shop. Drop a like to this video if you love watching Pawn Stars. Hey there everyone, what's up, and welcome back to another video on Vert. Pawn Stars features some of the most experienced people in the field of managing pawn shop businesses. However, despite the fact that they have been working since decades, sometimes even the most experienced pawnbrokers end up making non-profitable deals. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the 5 deals that almost bankrupted the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop. So, without any further ado, let's get started with number 5. Number 5, the Byzantine era gold coin. Whenever the pawnbrokers try to haggle with some people who have come into the shop, and whenever they get counter-arguments from those people, they would often remind them that they still have to make money off the deals. However, despite trying their best to make every deal profitable, sometimes they end up making terrible deals where they are not even able to break even. In an episode of Season 8 titled Cold Hard Cash, Rick made a huge mistake when he spent $1,100 on a gold coin that the seller claimed was from the Byzantine Empire. The seller was hoping to get $2,000 after finding the coin inside of a book that they had purchased from an antique store. Rick kind of got carried away, and despite knowing that it could very well be a fake coin, he moved forward with the deal. He anticipated that he would be able to make a massive profit from the deal. After buying the coin, Rick had an expert to check it out, who gave him the good news that it was a real coin from the Byzantine Empire of Constantine IX. However, he also told Rick that these days the market for such coins was really down. This meant that Rick could only sell the coin between $700 and $1,000. So, Rick had paid much more for the coin than its actual market value. At that point, all Rick could do was either sell it immediately or wait for the time when the prices of those coins would go up and then sell it at a profit, or at least at the same price he had purchased it for. As you would expect, Rick chose the latter option. Number 4, not a flamethrower. Chumley kind of makes his decisions from his heart. During one episode, a seller came to the pawn shop with a very hot item that had hit the market just a few years ago. It was not a flamethrower that was built and sold in limited quantity by Elon Musk's The Boring Company. The seller initially pitched the item at $2,400. However, he could only sell it for $1,400. Chumley still knew that it was kind of a high price for that item and that Rick would not be happy with it. As he expected, Rick was not exactly thrilled and immediately made Chumley call an expert to find out if the flamethrower even worked. Well, the flamethrower did work, but the expert told them that its real value was around $1,200. This deal turned out great for Chumley, as Rick allowed him to get it for his personal use for just $1,200, which was $200 short of what he actually purchased it for. Number 3, Robosaurus. Another time where Chumley went by his heart was during a 2012 episode where he nearly bought the Robosaurus. It was a 31-ton giant machine that was built in the 80s. The transforming Tyrannosaurus could not only breathe fire, but also eat cars, trucks, and even small planes. While it looked pretty cool, it had absolutely no use in real life. The seller tried to convince Chumley and Big Haas to buy the item by telling them that they'd be able to rent it out for $25,000 a day. He wanted to sell it for $1 million. Luckily, Corey was there with Chumley, and despite Chumley showing massive interest in the item, Corey simply called it the most impractical thing he had ever come across and decided not to buy it. This was the right decision, as originally the buyer had purchased it back in 2008 for $575,000. Number 2, fake Rolexes. Corey grew up seeing his father and grandfather work in the pawn shop. He had been hanging out in the pawn shops since his childhood. Once he turned 18, he was given more responsibility and started working night shifts alone. However, he was still quite inexperienced to make the deals. Realizing this weakness of his, some scammers managed to sell him 6 fake Rolexes within 1 week. This resulted in a loss of $4,000 for the pawn shop. Number 1, 1961 Fendi guitar. During an episode of Season 8, a seller came into the pawn shop whom Rick believed was a superstar musician. But it wasn't the case. In the episode No Shoes, No Shirt, No Service, a seller named Vic Flick came to Rick Harrison looking to sell a 1961 Fender Stratocaster. Since it apparently had such a history and had been played by great talents, Rick decided to buy the guitar for a huge $55,000. However, it turned out that Vic Flick was not even a legend. Apart from the James Bond theme, most of the songs that had been recorded with the guitar were not huge hits. Rick displayed the item for sale at a huge price of $90,000. However, he quickly realized that it was not worth that much. In fact, it wasn't even worth what he had paid for it. In the end, he only managed to sell it for $20,000, leaving him with a $35,000 loss. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content as we will soon be seeing you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.